Hey, and welcome to Teagsley Talks. I'm Tegan, a wellness enthusiast, conscious creator, and life learner, where we talk all things well-being, spirituality, lifestyle, and mindset. I give you an inside look at my brain, my habits, and the life I live, so together we can live our dream lives. Here we are a community of loving souls wanting to live incredible lives and feel wildly good doing it. Join me every week as I download the next potty of goodness.
Hello, my lovely souls, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in this week. If you are loving the podcast, I would so greatly appreciate if you just headed over to Spotify and gave us a 5-star review. It would mean the absolute world to me, and it would also mean that more people would get eyes on the podcast, and that would just be amazing. So let's dive into today's podcast. Today's podcast is going to be all about why I truly believe everyone should be meditating, and just a few things to expect when you're learning to meditate and starting to implement the practice, or if you have tried it, why it might not have worked for you, or just little things that we can do to actually start practicing regularly and getting over any stories or any limits that we have had with our previous meditation practice, if we've tried, or if it's just on your bucket list for the year to try and to get started in. Today's going to be the day that we get it off the bucket list and get trying. So let's do our normal stuff. We'll do some breath work, do a life update, set an intention, and then we'll dive into today's topic. So if you are ready to learn to meditate and really starting to implement this into your life, I've got a few things at the end that are just going to be able to get you started and to get you consistent in your meditation practice. Okay, let's start off as we usually do with our breath work. We're going to do 3 audible breaths today. The audible breath on the exhale helps you feel more relaxed. The exhale out the mouth, including an audible exhale, it really sends that signal to the brain to relax. So let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. Deep breath in and exhale out, side out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Last one. A little bit louder than the last one. Inhale in. And exhale out. So good. I personally really needed that because you won't believe what just happened before I went to record this podcast. We had an earthquake. I've been in one other earthquake before over in Western Australia. But yeah, an earthquake just happened. There's nothing on the news yet or anything, but I was literally sat here just writing a few notes for the podcast, and the entire house started to shake, and it was so loud. So at first I thought it's a plane going over, because occasionally we'll get planes that come quite low and helicopters come quite low here as well. And also occasionally we get those like fighter jets, like those ones from like the Navy, they come past occasionally. So I first thought it was that and thinking then I'll hear the sound of the plane or whatever it was, but nothing came. And I have windows all around me and they were shuddering like super loud. So then I walked out because I'm like, what the hell is going on? And into the lounge room. It's basically like the whole lounge room kitchen is basically windows and sliding doors and huge glass windows, and everything was like shuttering, and it was so loud, and the doors and windows were moving. The whole house was moving. And our house is on it's on stilts, but not high stilts, like, I don't know, 1.5 meters off the ground, maybe. Yeah, something like that. So the whole house was rattling, and Zach just so happens to be up the beach surfing with also no phone service. So I ran out the front because I was thinking I'll go see if my neighbor's house is rattling, and then I could see my other neighbors who it's just their holiday house. They were there. So I went over to them and they were like also standing up, like looking around, seeing what's going on. I'm like, what is this? And then it kind of faded. And yeah, I was like, was that an earthquake? And they were like, must have been. And we were both just standing there being like, what on earth just happened? So hopefully there's no aftershocks or anything. I also just took the bike to the beach because I was thinking, what if there's a tsunami? I mean, I live so close to the beach. I feel like that's quite a realistic thing to go and do. It feels a bit silly, but I'm like, no, I just have to go see the beach to make sure the water looks normal. And yeah, so the beach looks normal. So yeah, don't know what that was, but I feel like I really needed those deep breaths. So hopefully that has also wound you down. And if you are on the sunny coast and you felt the earthquake, let me know where you were and what happened and if your house shook as well. So anyway, let's get into, a life update. That's the beginning of the life update. Apart from the earthquake, this week's actually been a pretty quiet week. I am on, I think today is day 6 or day 7 of my Parasite Heavy Metal Candida cleanse. It's a 10-day cleanse that I'm doing with Zealy herbs. And if you haven't listened to the last couple of podcasts, I'm basically doing it because something is going on within me and I'm not sure what it is. So I thought, why not do a cleanse? It's not going to hurt anything. It's probably only going to make me feel better. So I have started the cleanse. Basically, the cleanse is for 10 days. You take some herbs for each meal, and in the evening you take some colon cleanse tablets, and there's also like a fulvic acid, I'm pretty sure it's called, as like the binder to help everything come out of your system. No, I have not been going through my poops to see what's in them. Honestly, I don't really want to know, and I haven't seen anything weird come out of me without like poking around, but I just want to do it to basically, I just don't want to see what is in there. And if things are coming out of me, they can do it without me seeing them. So that's the main thing. And you have to eat a certain diet as well. So you're not allowed to have sugars, including fruits high in sugar, veggies high in sugar, gluten, dairy, sugar. I think that's everything. So, and obviously no meat. They say to have as much of a vegetarian / pescatarian diet. So it's been pretty easy, but also I haven't really I didn't realize how much high starchy fruits and veg I eat. So my normal way of eating, I've had to change a fair bit because there's lots of things that I can't have. So I've been having like papaya first thing in the morning. I've also been eating a few of the seeds because apparently that's quite good to get rid of parasites. I have been only eating like a tablespoon of them, maybe a little bit more. They taste very, I actually kind of like the taste of them, which is crazy because at first I thought, ew, like they look slimy, but they're basically like eating a peppercorn. That's not that peppery, but they're definitely peppery and bittery, but have that slight fragrance of the papaya to them. So they're actually kind of nice, but they're, a bit bitter or peppery. So I've been eating them as well. And then I've been having smoothies and lots of eggs, tofu. I've been having some fish. And just not having potato, pumpkin. You can have sometimes carrot. What else am I not having? You can't have rice, pasta, bread, those types of things. So every time I do these things where you have to really watch what you eat, because I feel like I eat really well, but obviously there's some things that I shouldn't be eating. But every time I do a cleanse, or how last year I did the 75 hard, the pressure around the diet being so perfect, I'm not great at it. I'm often just wishing I could just have honey in my cup of tea. And I'm like, is that the bugs talking, or is that just me wanting to do what I want to do? So I spend a lot of time thinking about food, which doesn't feel super healthy, but I'm quite aware of what's going on, and it's just for 10 days and it's good for me. And I'm just tuning in to being is that the bugs in my belly talking? Whether it's candida or parasites, whatever it is, I'm just kind of questioning every thought that I'm having around food. to really try and tune in with what's going in within my stomach. So anyway, the cleanse has 3 more days and it's been pretty good. I did have a pretty upset belly for a couple of days there where couldn't trust much, but otherwise it's been really good, super easy, just having to be really prepared with food and whatnot. So yeah, it ends on Monday. I'll be finishing up, which I'm really excited because I just want to have honey in my tea. I think that's like the one thing that I really want, and like some potato. And then actually on Wednesday, so you'll be listening to this on Monday if you're listening to it live time. Wednesday, I'm actually seeing the naturopath for my results from my bloods. So I'm really excited to see what she's got to say and what came up in my bloods. And I will let you know. Honestly, this is like day 7 of the cleanse. I feel like people will be asking, how do you feel? Do you feel any better? I honestly don't feel too much different, except for I am feeling a bit like cleaner because I'm not eating gluten, any sugars and things like that. So I'm feeling definitely cleaner. Have I felt bloated? No, I don't think I felt bloated. I only feel bloated if I've eaten too quick, or like sometimes after smoothies, because it's like, yeah, you're drinking your meal. Yeah, I think I just do I feel less inflamed? No, I don't think so. Not yet. So anyway, I actually don't feel crazy different, but we're not there yet. So we've got 3 more days of the cleanse. So I'll let you know next week because I'll be done. And yeah, we can see what the results were for the 10 days. I do keep hearing people talk about cleansing for 4 weeks. Honestly, I don't know if I've got that in me. I can do it though, like if I have to, but like I'm just excited to see what the naturopath says on Wednesday and start whatever she says on Wednesday. So that means I'll have like Tuesday, Wednesday off of whatever, so I can have my honey and my tea and then yeah, do whatever the naturopath says to do from Wednesday. So apart from the earthquake and the cleanse, honestly, this week has been really quiet. I've still been doing gym and yoga. The hot yoga has been really nice, especially on like the cold mornings or the cold evenings. It just feels so nice. I definitely haven't been as exhausted as I was after that one like workout class. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, was it Pilates? I think it was hot Pilates. Yeah, that was so hard and I was so exhausted after, but I did an hour of a vinyasa yesterday, day before, and that actually felt really nice. But yeah, the yoga has been really nice. And my gym, I'm feeling really good in the gym, so that's fab. And Zach came home yesterday. He was meant to be home the day before, but we all know his flights never arrive on time. So they cancelled a flight from Perth to Melbourne. So he had to get a different flight and he had to do an overnighter. And anyway, he's here and that's amazing. So that feels so good. He has actually just gone surfing for the morning while I get my things done. And then we'll surf in the afternoon. So that'll be really fun. We were actually meant to be going down south to get a car for Zach, but it's sold like at 9 p.m. last night, or like 8 or really late last night. So we basically just cancelled our plans and thought, well, if we're going to go down south, why don't we make a bit of more of a weekend out of it and do 2 nights, not just the one night that we were going to do. So yeah, we're just going to hang out this weekend and just hopefully surf as much as we can. The conditions are really good, and now that there's been an earthquake, maybe there'll be some bigger waves. I don't know. So yeah, this weekend will just be super relaxing with Zach and just hanging out before he goes back to work. Also, another thing, because we are moving in 7 weeks, which is wild to us. I can't believe we have 7 weeks left here. I will be putting more stuff up on my Depop. I went through my wardrobe and I was like super cutthroat. I'm like, I literally haven't worn this in 12 months. It's got to go. So I'm going to chuck everything on Depop. And whatever's not gone, I think it's end of September, I'm going to go down to the Fisherman's Markets in Maroochydore and sell as many things there. I'm going to do like a massive sale on Depop and like do deals and stuff, because I'm thinking, I know someone wants it. Like it's all such good clothing. So if you want some new clothes, have a look at my Depop. I'll let you know on Instagram when I'm going to put the rest up, but there's already heaps up there. So if you want a little special deal, or you want to buy like a few things and you don't want to pay postage for all of them, let me know and we can do a little deal thing. So yeah, that's been really fun. I just love decluttering. There's something about it. I actually heard this thing on, I think it was like Instagram or TikTok, about like there's this certain like condition that you have about like always needing to declutter. So maybe I have that, but maybe I'm just human and I need to move some things on out of my house. Okay, let's dive into today's intention. I think you all know what the intention is going to be today, but basically the intention for the week is to try to meditate at least every other day. If you're already kind of meditating on and off, let's have the intention to meditate daily. It might feel like a big commitment, but if you honestly say, right, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like those types of time frames, everyone has that amount of time, no matter who you are. And I'm aware we all have businesses, children, babies, animals. 3, 5, or 10 minutes, we can find it somewhere within our day, whether that's getting up 10 minutes earlier, whether that's 10 minutes that you have to do when you're just in bed before you go to sleep, like whatever it is, find that time, set the intention right now of what you're going to do, and let's do it for the week. Okay, let's dive into why I honestly think everyone should be meditating. I think the first thing to kind of recognize is that we live in such a stimulating world. Like right now, you're probably doing 2 to 3 things at once. You're listening to the podcast, you might be walking, or maybe you're driving, or maybe you're working, doing some housework. Like you're so stimulated right now, and you're probably thinking you're doing something quite simple, possibly. If you think about how many screens we see for the day, whether it was late last night, you were watching TV, but you had your phone as well, or maybe you've spent the entire day in front of a computer screen, maybe 2 computer screens, maybe there's 6 computer screens, depends where you're working. Maybe you spent a lot of time on your phone today. Maybe you work from your phone, maybe you were just in a scroll hole today. We live in such a stimulating world, and that's not even just the fact that we're on screens all the time, but it's like if you think about how convenient things are now, you would think that we are not as busy. Like we can literally order groceries from the shop and have it delivered to you. Depends where you live. I can't. But you can literally get groceries sent to your house, so you don't even have to go spend 30 to 60 minutes in the grocery shop. Yet we're still so busy. We're still so jam-packed. And that's just how a lot of people are living. So if we literally took 3, 5, 10 minutes just to sit in silence and just to meditate, to breathe, to unwind, everyone is going to feel obviously less stimulated and therefore less stressed. We live in such stressful times, you know. There's so many things that we have to take care of, whether it's ourselves, our children, our families, our parents, our grandparents, maybe someone else's kids, maybe someone else's family. You have to also work a job, a career, there's finances, there's goals, there's friendships, relationships, love, community. There are so many things that we are doing. There's so much to do. And if we aren't taking just a moment to ourselves to unwind, to restore our energy, then we're living from a really stressful state. All of our nervous systems are cooked. If you think about like how many people you ask how they're going, like how they're really going, how many of them say tired, busy, exhausted? 2 weeks ago, I was exhausted. Everyone has an element of stress to their life. You can't tell me that you don't because, well, I just know that everyone does. And a level of stress is good for us. Otherwise, nothing will get done, right? We wouldn't have any goals, dreams, ambitions. We wouldn't be achieving the things that we want to achieve. So some stress is good, but 100%, we have way too much stress on our systems. So meditating can help you deal with those emotions and just to feel relaxed and relax your nervous system, so then you're not feeling so exhausted by the end of the day. You're putting back into yourself and you're able to feel calmer when you get to the end of the day. If you do 3, 5, or 10 minutes of meditation in the morning and somewhere in the afternoon, evening, 100% you are going to feel so much more rejuvenated and energized, clear, and just your nervous system is going to thank you. So that's why I really think everyone should be meditating, because we live in such a stressful and overstimulating world that meditating is going to help us bring us back to a nice, calm, regulated nervous system, and just to be able to deal with emotions while we're meditating. And that's probably the next thing, just being able to deal with our emotions. If we are meditating, and when we meditate, and I've spoken about this before, my meditation teacher, she teaches this, but when we meditate, we deal with unconscious, unprocessed emotional situations. So when you are meditating and you get into this bliss state, or sometimes it doesn't even feel like bliss, but you're transcending those emotions that are stuck within the body, you come out of it feeling so much clearer and less heavy because you've dealt with those emotions. Does that mean that you sit there and you feel the anger that you have towards whatever situation it is? No, not quite. We could get into that another time, but when you're sat there for the 10 minutes and you're focusing on your breath, you're allowed to feel those emotions come up and then pass through you. And you just kind of keep feeling and passing to allow the emotions to transcend. So then we're not stuck in those emotions. That's another reason why I really think we should meditate, because a lot of us have a lot of pent up emotions. My neighbour was just hedging, which is fair. They've not been up for 3 months, so that's good. Go for it. Okay, so another reason that I really think that we should be meditating, and this is probably like one of my main focuses, especially at the moment, but I think that if we all meditated regularly, we would be able to really tune into how our health is and be able to really listen to our inner guidance around our health. A lot of us are living with some sort of, lack of energy, or we're feeling tired, exhausted, lethargic, stressed, emotional, anxious, depressed, where we have poor eating habits. We are all living with, not all of us, I don't want to project that onto you, but a lot of us are living with some sort of health issue. And if we were to meditate daily, you're able to tune in to yourself and go, okay, what is needed? And this is something that my meditation teacher Laura Poole taught me, is after our meditation we ask what is needed. And your body has this innate wisdom, this innate intelligence within us to know what we actually need to heal. So once we've sat in that meditation, and I do a 20-minute meditation in silence with a mantra, once we've finished and we ask what is needed, we get answers instantly. And if you do first start meditating, you might not get super clear, or it might be just more rest or something like that. But when you've meditated, ask yourself after what is needed, and your innate wisdom and intelligence is going to come through you, and it's going to say things like, you need more rest, you need to have an afternoon nap, you need to eat really well today, maybe you need to eat a bit more today, hey, maybe you actually need to eat a bit less today. Maybe it will say that you need another meditation at a certain time of the day. Maybe it's saying that you need to get some movement in today and move your body. Maybe it's saying go to the sauna. Maybe it's saying to have a conversation with your partner. Maybe it's saying to have some water. Your body's innate intelligence, it is there. You know what you need. So ask yourself after your meditation what is needed, and this will come through within time. It will start to really become clear. And it's not just about our health, it's about everything, what is needed. And if we were to ask and really think about our health and well-being, we would just be all so much healthier. And if you just think about the actual thing that happens within our body when we do meditate, you regulate your nervous system, you come back down into your really relaxed rest and digest. So not only you can rest and digest your food, but digest emotions, digest life situations, and you can really rest your body, your mind, and your soul. So when we're meditating, your health, it's inevitably going to improve. You can't meditate and your health get worse. Of course, we have ups and downs. Like right now, obviously, I'm going through a situation with my health. Not that it's really, really bad, but we all go through seasons of illness, dis-ease, these types of things. So meditation is only going to help your health improve. You know, if I think about sometimes like in this last few months where I've really been trying to figure out what is going on within my health, like some days my body will say after my meditation is go for a long walk without your phone. It might say go for an ocean swim, or hey, you really need some extra vitamin C at the moment, or you need to do some journaling, or hey, you need to get 8 hours of sleep tonight, or 9 hours sleep. Like my body has been telling me, and I feel like since listening to that, like over the years, I have just really been able to tune into my health and make sure that, yeah, I'm living my healthiest life that I possibly can. And then of course, when we are trying to fix ourselves and we aren't quite getting the answers that we want, like for myself, for example, then we go to the health professionals, we go and see the naturopath, we go and see the acupuncturist, the chiro, like we go and see the professional that then can help us. So if you are in a state with your health at the moment, meditate. It's only going to improve your health regardless. Another reason that I really think that we should meditate is, honestly, if everyone in the entire world meditated, I just feel like there would be this level of kindness that would occur. If you, and I asked this on my Instagram the other day, if you look around yourself right now, or if you think about when you're at work or you're in your family or whatever situation, when you're around some people at the supermarket, on the road, driving to work, if you look around to the people and say, if that person meditated today, would they be kinder? Would they be better? Would they be calmer? Would they be healthier? Would they be less stressed? Absolutely, they would be. And that goes for everyone, because I honestly think because of the world that we live in today, meditating is only going to make us kinder. And when we do deal with those pent up emotions, we just come across a lot kinder. I know that when I haven't meditated, people in my life have previously said, hey, do you need to meditate? And it's when I'm getting a bit bitter or a bit angry or irritated or frustrated, or there's something that I haven't processed. And when I go and meditate and fill my cup up and have that time to myself, I'm a way kinder person. Honestly, without my meditation, I'm not the kindest version of me. And I like to think I'm a pretty kind person, but there's definitely things where I'm like, well, I probably didn't need to say that. Or even things that I think I don't even necessarily say out loud. Like if I'm being like mean to myself, or like make a comment about someone else in my head, like that stuff doesn't really happen when I'm meditating, because I'm coming from such a full place. Like it's really quite a rejuvenating practice to do. And you'll even see in the stats, like when people are tracking their blood pressure and heart rate, like when you are meditating, it's basically like sleeping. It's rejuvenating. So if everyone was to meditate, I honestly think that we'd just be able to come from more of a state of peace. And then in turn, we would be more kind. Not only would we be more kind to everyone external to us, you know, your family, your partner, your co-workers, you'd be a lot kinder to yourself. I know that when I'm working on my meditation, I'm a lot kinder to myself, because we can be our own worst enemies, but I honestly just choose to not let that be an option, and to only be a cheerleader for myself and to have positive thoughts around myself. And when I meditate, that's where I process those things. So if you are currently feeling like you're not your kindest version, sit down for 3, 5, 10 minutes and just sit there in peace, fill your cup back up. For those people, and I know there's so many of you, and I work with a lot of them, so many people are not sleeping well. We aren't getting enough hours, we're not getting enough quality sleep, we're not getting enough of our really rejuvenating sleep. And this comes back to living in this stimulated world. It comes back to being in this stressful lifestyle that we're living. And if you are someone who really struggles to sleep, who really struggles to turn their mind off and to stop thinking at nighttime, this is coming from someone very experienced meditation is going to be game changing. You do have to stick at it until your body starts to then notice that you have cues that are helping you go to sleep. Like the sleep cue is the red light. The sleep cue is that certain meditation. The sleep cue is the blanket, the pillow, the eye mask. Like the sleep cues have to happen for your body to then recognize, right, it's time to sleep. Whether it's, if you've got lots of thoughts, do the journal session first under the red light, pop the meditation on, lay down, get comfortable, meditate. And if everyone meditated before they slept, I know so many people would really benefit from this. It's just doing it. It's the same as like going to the gym, right? Like I know so many people that would benefit from it, but whether they do it or not is a different story. Same as meditation. It's like a workout for your mind. It's the same thing, and it's just doing it, except meditation is so much, well, is it easier than the gym? Sometimes meditation is quite hard, but you get what I'm saying. If you are currently struggling to sleep, you need to start meditating and be as consistent as you can and set those sleep cues up for yourself, and then let me know how you go. We have a lot of stress as our mind quietens because of this really stimulated day. If you wake up at like 6 and then till 7, 8 p.m. at night, if you are stimulated that entire time, by the time you do put your head on your pillow, no wonder you can't fall asleep. Sometimes we have to deload, pop it into a journal, write it down, get it off our mind, so then when our mind can actually rest knowing it's on paper, I won't forget it, it's out, it's physically out of my body on the paper. And then also, once that's done, then you can really start to wind down. You can get into your meditation a lot better rather than trying to go into your meditation with all of these thoughts. So write it down, meditate, have the red light, get the sleep mask, whatever it is. Set yourself some sleep cues so you can actually start improving your sleep. And also stop saying I'm a poor sleeper, because what you think is what you create. So make sure you're careful of what your words are, especially around your sleep, because I truly believe sleep is number one. Sleep, and I carry on about this all the time, but you know, nutrition, movement, water, all of those things are absolutely pillars of your health. But if you are not slept well, there is no way that you can be bothered going to the gym. If you're not slept well, your hunger hormones, your leptin and your ghrelin haven't balanced, so then you're hungry and you never feel full. And then also, you just don't think well because you're tired, you're exhausted, and then you start being negative. So it's just an absolute vicious circle if you don't start with sleep. So get your sleep really good and get committed and like really start prioritizing it as a ritual. Make it a thing that has to happen and make it part of your life, because watch your sleep improve and watch your entire life improve. Like, it is game changing, and I'm speaking from experience. They are the main reasons that I really think that we should meditate: for our well-being, for our health, for our sleep, for our stress, for being kinder in the world. And it honestly comes down to a 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 minute meditation. You don't have to meditate for an hour. It's not what the science is proving to make you, you know, healthier, happier, better person, all those things. It's those little short things in the day where you set yourself some time to recharge and to give back to yourself so you can be the healthiest and happiest version of yourself. And I've got some tips for you if you've tried it, you didn't like it, didn't think it was you, didn't get anything from it, or any of those stories. So the first thing is, you may have just heard the wrong meditation. You might have listened to something that the voice was annoying, the music was annoying, and it didn't relax you. You were just thinking about how annoying whatever those things were. So know that you have to try a few things. And I have tried thousands. I've tried a few apps as well. I've tried just timers. I've honestly tried so many things, and I love lots. I love lots of guided meditations. There's quite a few that I personally love, but know that it's taken me thousands to listen to go, right, these are the 5 that I actually really enjoy for these certain times of my life: sleep, wake, motivation, visualization, processing, spirit guides, like whatever it is. It's taken me thousands. So just know you have to be patient in finding what suits you. And know that if one meditation didn't work for you, it's probably just you needing to push through that and try the next meditation. Another thing to notice about meditation is you're going to have thoughts, emotions, and feelings come up. That doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, and it doesn't mean that you're getting nothing from it. Especially when you first start out meditating, you are going to have thoughts run wild, emotions. You're going to have everything going through your mind. So know that this like busy mind thing is absolutely normal. If you actually had no thoughts and you just sat there in silence, you're probably like super exhausted, or just a very calm person. So if you're not having any, or maybe you're even disassociating. So if you're not having thoughts, amazing. But know that thoughts and emotions are so normal. It's part of the process. So when you have these thoughts come up and maybe you're doing a guided meditation, just bring your attention back to the guided meditation. If you're doing a silent meditation and your thoughts are going wild, just bring your attention back to your breath. So then you can become present. As soon as you think about your breath, that is as present as you can possibly be, because you're aware of what's going on within you. And also have your journal there after. So when you come out of your 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 minute meditation, you can start to write things down and really start processing what is going on within you. If we are just sitting down and not dealing with our emotions, which you do naturally in your meditation anyway, you're just going to stay in the same sort of rat race and probably then be like, meditation's not for me. So just be aware, thoughts, emotions, and feelings are normal, and that's the point of meditation. We are processing them, we are transcending them out of us so we can move on and live a joyful, happy, and healthy life. The magic of meditation, I personally believe, happens within 2 weeks of practicing consistently. So that is just, say, once a day, whether it's 3 minutes, 10 minutes. Consistently practicing for 2 weeks is when you will notice that you are feeling different, and others will start commenting on things that you're doing differently. Or maybe they'll comment before you actually realize. They might be like, wow, you seem a lot calmer, or wow, you dealt with that situation way better than what you used to, or oh, I wish I could be like that in those situations. Or yeah, you might even notice your partner saying you're sleeping so well, like these types of things. So just know 2 weeks of consistent practice is where you're really going to see the difference, and that will then motivate you to keep meditating. The other time you might see is actually when you first start meditating. I've dealt with a lot of people that they do their first meditation and they have that game-changing moment of being like, whoa, I need to do this every single day. And this doesn't happen to everyone, and it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or right. It's just some people are able to sink in quite quickly. Some people are also living in a really high stress, really overstimulating world, that when they are in a safe place that they can then actually truly relax, surrender, and then transcend, it feels a lot different from what they are previously used to. So that can happen as well, where people fully just surrender to the moment and allow what to come up and to move and process. So then people do often feel it quite quickly, especially if they're coming from that place. Now, don't expect that sensation every single meditation. I chased that for years. It's just not how meditation goes. So make sure that if you do have those really blissful meditations, the ones where you feel like you're levitating, you're moving outside of your body, or they just feel like absolute bliss, just know that that will not happen every single time. And as you start to meditate more, it can happen a lot more frequently. But even, for me, who I've been practicing for years, it doesn't happen every single week. There's a lot of stuff that we're moving through that just has to be moved through before we start really feeling those blissful meditations. And it depends how your mind works. My mind is personally, I have a tendency to have a vata imbalance within my body. If you've heard me talk about Ayurveda before, but basically in Ayurveda, vata mind is typically overthinking and anxious. So that's how my mind can often come into imbalance. So that's just something that meditation helps me bring it back into balance. Something else that I feel like lots of clients, people tell me, is that they can't meditate because they have kids, they have a noisy husband, pets, busy lives, these types of things. just know that you can meditate in the room beside all of the noise. Heck, you can actually meditate next to the noise. That is up to you how you see and feel into that. I, for a really long time, especially like, for example, when I first dated Zach, we would actually meditate a fair amount together, but mostly I didn't want to meditate near him because I had meditated for years and years and years and years. Firstly, I meditated for years in hiding. No one even knew that I did it. And then I needed to have that quiet space to meditate. But I learned quite quickly, when you live with someone, it's hard to have, 100% quietness, stillness, and these types of things. So know that you can meditate with noises around you. It's just you surrendering to the noise and the movement around you. I had Zach come into the room the other day, and usually if I'm going to go meditate, I will tell him, so then he knows where I am, and so I don't get disturbed as much as I possibly can. But the other day, I think I actually spoke about it on the podcast, I was meditating on the bed in the afternoon, and he came like barging into the room, opened the curtains, and came in and like went to like give me a kiss, and I just sat there meditating. And he goes to me, "Can I give you a kiss?" And I just shook my head because I'm thinking, no, if you come in any closer to my space, it's really hard for me to get out of it. And then because I had that boundary of saying no, then I could come back in and go deep again. And that's just one example. Like, I've had Ziggy interrupt me so many times. I remember trying to meditate down at my parents' house one time, and her dog, I could feel something in my face, and I opened my eyes and the dog was like right in front of my face, and I did a couple of videos with it as well. They can feel your energy, and especially little kids, they will want to be around you because they can feel your energy. And if they're super little, they probably can still see your aura if that hasn't been shut out of them. And they can feel the frequency of you. So people want to be around people who are meditating. So just know that. But do understand that you can do it with people around you. Every now and then I'll even just sit up in bed and meditate while Zach is fully there. And he might be like doing his own thing. But I have just learned that I can meditate with noises around me. So don't let that be an excuse that you don't meditate, because the point of meditating is that we can get through things like that. And if, the kids are running wild around you, yeah, it's probably a bit hard and you probably won't go that deep. But if you do that consistently in front of the kids, they will start to know, well, that's quiet time for mum or dad, or for everyone, get the family involved. And they will feel the benefit that they will get from you being a better person, a calmer person after that. And something that I really noticed, especially when I was over west, and I would be around my sister's two little boys. Well, they're not really little anymore, but they're young. They're still children. And the littlest one, he loved meditating, and he would sit there for 20 minutes and meditate with me, and he loved it. And he would always ask us, and they call it smiley minds. They do it at school. And he always wanted to meditate, which was really cool. And then the older one, he was like, "Can we just do 10 minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah, 10 minutes is still amazing. Let's do that for him." And then we would do 20 minutes for the younger one. The younger one just absolutely loved it, which makes perfect sense because kids are so intuitive. Like, the younger one is like super high energy. So he knows that he feels good doing that. Where the older one, he's probably more he's probably not as in his body because he's a bit older, so he's already on the external. So he's tuning into the, I want to do other things. I want to go on the laptop or the iPad or like whatever. But he'll still do 10 minutes, which is amazing because 10 minutes is a long time in adult world in comparison to kids, because kids' time, they don't realize the time as much as adults do, if that makes sense. So yeah, the family, get them in on it, and you're only going to reap the benefits from getting everyone involved. But do know that you can do your meditation absolutely anywhere. I've done it in the car, I've done it on mine sites, I've done it on the rigs, I've done it on helicopters, I've done it on planes, I've done it next to people. Like, it's so possible to meditate anywhere. It's all to do with what your mind says about it. Along with the busy mind, know that fidgeting and feeling like you need to move and you feel irritated, know that that is also probably a part of your meditation, especially if you're like me. I'm a huge fidgeter. I'm pretty sure I failed my first driver's thing because I fidgeted too much. And my dad still tells me, and even Zach told me the other day, like, put 2 hands on the wheel. And I just can't help it. I'm just a fidgeter. So if you are also like that, or like, ADD, ADHD, whatever you want to call them, if you also feel like that, just know that that's a part of meditation as well. Some days I will literally sit there like scratching and just feeling irritated, like, like whatever the thing is, like just feeling irritated the whole time. Just know that that will happen and that will come up. I kind of have really started to tune into it that when we are feeling that irritated, we probably need a longer meditation to really wind the body down. And if you're feeling that irritated, there's something within you that is boiling up that needs to be processed. So know that if you're feeling super irritated and fidgety, it's just a part of it. It just is what it is. Sometimes you're going to feel super irritated. Sometimes you'll feel really calm. It's all a part of it. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was if you're doing a morning meditation and an afternoon or evening meditation, if you're doing 2, or if you're alternating frames of the day, like it doesn't matter when you do it, the point is doing it. But if you're doing, say, a morning one and an afternoon one, or today you do a morning one and tomorrow you do an afternoon one, know that they're going to feel different because of the time of the day that you're in. So if you are meditating in the morning, it's going to depend on how your mind is. So in Ayurveda, we have Kapha, Pitta, and Vata, and these are the 3 body types, but they're also times of the day. And it depends on what you are, what you're in balance, and what time of the day it actually is. So there's kind of a lot to consider, but don't overthink it. But just know that if you do a really early morning meditation before the sun rises, this is going to feel quite relaxing and inspirational, motivational, and calming. If you do it a little bit later, it might be a little bit harder to sit in it because the mind is already starting to work. So this is like the pitta time. So the mind is working, the body's ready to get into work and start doing the to-do list. So if you do it past, the sun rises, say you're doing like an 8 a.m. meditation, your mind might be quite busy about your to-do list. So just be aware of that. And just to surrender, right? Surrender the to-do list and come back to the breath and the practice. Then if you do one in the evening and say it's like 7 p.m, this is probably where your meditation is going to feel really rejuvenating because you're wanting to wind down and relax. So this is just going to really rejuvenate and calm you down. Do not go to bed past 10 o'clock. Always go to bed before. You will feel nice and relaxed and you're able to wind down. If it's past 10 o'clock, you've hit your second wind and you're going to be turning into a little possum at night time and it's going to get harder to meditate. So basically, meditate whenever you can, but just know that there will be certain times of the day and your schedule where it will feel harder, but it doesn't mean that you skip it. It means that you do it because that is where the magic happens. The magic doesn't happen if we don't do it. So that is everything, mostly everything, for why I think everyone should meditate. And I have created the starter kit for meditation. I have created a morning and an evening or an afternoon meditation for you to download. It's on my website. I will leave the links down below in the YouTube and the podcast to make sure that you can get your hands on it. I'm having a special for the week so you can get your hands on it and you can practice morning and evening and you have a set structure that you can stick to and get really good at, and then find what else works after that. Or maybe you want to do them like me, that I've done the same evening meditation for years and years now. So I have created a morning and an evening meditation for your meditation starter guide, and I will leave all the links below. And if you do get them and try them, I would love so much to hear how you felt after them, during them, all of the things, and if it is helping you create a meditation practice. Also, if you are wanting to learn to meditate and join my online program, it is coming soon. Like I said last week and I think the week before, I'm just having some technical difficulties with my website. So it is coming. If you still want to really learn and dive into that, it is coming, and it is going to be an amazing 6 weeks together. It's It's basically a 6-week online program. We have one call a week and there's lots of little goodies in there and meditations. And basically I'm just going to teach you how to learn to meditate, and we're going to move through whatever's coming up for you and to process all of these things together so we can live and be the healthiest and the happiest version of ourselves. Now, I'm going to leave you there. All the links will be in the description below. Until next week, enjoy your life. Do the things that make your heart happy and shine in your authenticity. Bye.